Love at first sight? Excerpt. I said the very sweet words to my sweet girl at this sweet romantic time. I love you. All of a sudden she left the restaurant without responding back at me. I have seen the confusion through her eyes. Yes, I knew that most of us don't believe it at all. But definitely a moment comes in our lives and need to accept that you are wrong, like it happened to me. It was a hectic scheduled day and my boss piling up stacks of workload on me, as the project delivery date is approaching nearer. Though I had no space for taking a break from my work, but my belly has heaps of space waiting to be filled. So, I went to a restaurant nearby my office. Full Moon restaurant usually have huge customers, but today very few were there as it a weekday and late night too. I lie down at rounded corner table and looking into the menu card. A couple of minutes later, waiter in black dress had come over to my table. Yes sir, order please. I ordered a delicious menchal soup. I heard the same from a girl who was sitting right next to my table on an opposite chair. She wore an eye-catching white dress, and her silky loose hair and milky shiny skin resembles like an angel had just come for a visit on this full moon day at this full moon restaurant. IWASN? Surprised at her order, though same as mine, since it is one of the best dishes in this restaurant. That was the moment we see each other for the first time. I am almost trying to avoid my eyes looking at her inch by inch, but her beauty drawn my attention completely, and she also knew it by then. Every other minute she adjusts her silky hair, which is falling over her eyes, that peeking at me. That S.A. girl. Look. A sudden entry of waiter towards my table distracted my looks at her now. Excuse me, here is your order sir. Waiter called me twice until I get my attention back and responded him. After he served my order, I told him gently not to disturb for a few minutes. I could see her order being served now as well. She immediately rose from the chair, probably went for a hand wash and glanced at me from her back. I was perplexed at her looks. Do I have to follow her now? As she crossed the edge of the dining hall, the mobile at her table started ringing. Ringtone. I am looking at an angel? And believe me when I say, she got that whole place glowing. She got that whole place glowing. That was the song from a famous icon album which suits my mood now. On my GOSHH. I got a strange idea now. Immediately I picked her mobile from the table and dialed my number and thus saved her mobile number back. She returned before I put the mobile back onto the table and managed as if I didn't touched her mobile at all. She changed her seating right beside my chair instead of an opposite chair earlier. I felt little upset, as I can. Look her straight into the eyes now. I started taking the soup spoon by spoon, but my mind totally focused on how to talk with her and where to start our conversation. Finally picked up my mobile and texted a message. "How was the soup?" She glanced at the message in mobile and ignored as if it was not seen. I signaled her to convey that was the message sent by me. After a couple of minutes, I could see her messaging something back to me. I was awfully eager to read it. A soft reply from her. "Tastes good?" This was the right moment, I thought, to build a conversation slowly. "Do we meet any time before?" Of course, this is the same phrase that every boy used to begin a conversation if he comes across a beautiful girl for the first time. As I guessed, she replied back with a smiley cartoon that is looking with its eyebrows wide open as doubtfully looking at me. I then messaged back saying, "Hey, I am seriously asking, and of course it is not." She replied simply as, "HMM? Of course not." With smiling cartoon text, I immediately ask about where she is working, if any. A more straightforward reply from her again. "I work at Invencio Solutions at Green Park." Oh my God! That was the same place where my office was too, but how come I didn't come across such a beautiful girl in my campus before? Really strange, I thought. I messaged back telling the same. "Hey, that's it. I work at Pride Tech Solutions, which was next to your building and thus might have felt like we met before." She replied as, "Well, accepted what you said." With a smiley cartoon with one eye blinking at me, I took this conversation next step to exchange our names. "And this is Karthik, friends call me Karthi. Madhuri. And friends call me Madhu." In meantime, waiter came for the order, and this time a more coincidence happened. She ordered a Spanish Szechuan dish, which was my favorite one. Madhu, that was my favorite dish too. You can note that I already started calling her name as Madhu as if we were friends. "Is it?" She replied back once again, a smiley cartoon with its eyebrows wide open as doubtfully looking at me. "Hey, it's really my favorite dish, yar. Believe me?" An immediate reply from her, Okay. Cool? I was just kidding. Actually, my favorite dish was the Mexican chilled fries. But I want to try different today, so ordered this dish. I then smartly ordered her favorite dish and also could see her eyes glancing back at me. Before the order comes, we have enough time to know each other. I inquire about her native, family and hobbies, etc. Though I am very eager to ask if she is engaged or not, but I am not ready to listen if she said yes. Finally the time has come to leave the restaurant that filled my heart with my first sight. Love it, Madhu. When she is about to leave the table, I picked up all the courage and stood before her to propose. My heartbeat was pounding almost like a drum beats. She turned to me, and of course that might be the first time she saw my face completely. I looked straight into her eyes and kneeled down with a red rose in my hand that is waiting for her soft finger touch. And I said the very sweet words to my sweet girl at this sweet, romantic time. I love you. All of a sudden she left the restaurant without responding back at me. I have seen the confusion through her eyes, but it was not the disagreement, I guess. The very next morning I made a call to her mobile. After 3 to 4 rings I heard a voice. Hello, who? Is this? Hi Madhu, this is Karthi. We met last night at restaurant and when I was continuing to speak, she stopped me in the middle. Sorry? This is not Madhu, but I am her friend Smitha speaking. I know you would call it sometime today, as Madhu had already told me about your proposal at last night, but Karthi, you need to know one fact before her? I was baffled and asked what it was. The mobile which she used yesterday was mine and she collected it for me as I forget in the office last evening. Actually Madhu doesn't use mobile at all, and of course she doesn't need it at all. I was once again confused and bid her to explain clearly. Madhu's family had met with an accident a few years ago, where she not only lost her family but also her hearing, that is, she became completely deaf. I was shocked and not able to digest what I heard now. Then a sudden frame of our meeting at last night came in front of my eyes, and nowhere have we had a straight conversation, but it was all through text messages. Smitha continued her speaking. I know it's really shocking news to you, but that was her destiny and fate written as. So please think before entering into her life. If you really love her and ready to accept as your life partner though, then you are welcome to meet her at Marine Park this evening. I was speechless already when she put the call back. I took my time to rephrase everything. But what I heard is not bothering me at all, since she is still beautiful to me. My heart and mind strongly connected to her and knew that she is my soulmate that I am waiting for. So I decided to get prepared for the first close meeting with my love at the beautiful Marine Park. I packed a heart-shaped gold ring and ready with learning some of the sign language. When I reached the park, I could see Madhu sitting under a tree and looking at the lake view in front. I sat right beside her. She was handling a violin and looking straight into my eyes. She slowly tuned a lovely music which made me feel that we are alone together in this beautiful romantic world. She not only tuned my heart with that lovely music, but also expressed her true love towards me. That moment I came to know, music and most beautiful things in the world are not meant to only listening and seeing, but it relates to our heart and feelings. I softly took her violin into my hands and kissed on her beautiful rosy cheeks. She then told the 3 beautiful words that I am waiting to listen for. After that she took out a red cover having heart symbols, which is a surprise gift to me, when I opened to see it. Oh my gosh, that was the photographs of mine, which are very recent, and to my surprise I found a snap that was taken a year earlier. Did she have seen me already before? Did she follow me all these days? Did she start loving me since a year? And so was the favorite dish ordered by her last night is not a coincidence. The answer might definitely be yes. But why didn't she have come across me and expressed her love? This was answered straight away when I looked back at her into the eyes. It's because she didn't have enough courage to agree if I reject her love just because of the deafness. Thank you for watching.